Hello, one and all. So good to have you guys here today. How are you doing? Please let me know where you're from, and I would love for you to know that it is such a pleasure having you here. Whether you are joining us from the US, you're joining us from Asia, you're joining us from the Caribbean, wherever you are from, guys, we are honored to have you here as we learn English. Guys, how has that journey been for you? What has it been like for you in terms of learning English? So we love for you to share that with us too, as in how has your journey been when it comes to learning English? That's something we would love for you to share with us. So guys, get active, get in our comment section and share with us. We are delighted to hear from you. Please get delighted to hear from you. Get active in our comment section. Alright guys, so how was your day or your evening or your night, whatever time it is where you are? How was it for you? Please share that with us also, letting us know how you are feeling at this moment. Did you have a good day or was your day not so good? Let us know. Alright, guys, so please get active in our comment section. We are encouraging you to get active there. We would really love to hear from you. Know that your contributions, they are welcome and very much necessary. Come on, guys, let's see you guys active in our comment section. And also, please let me know if you have heard any improvements where our microphone is concerned. We are currently using a different microphone, and we would definitely love your feedback when it comes to our microphones today. Because you guys know that we've been having some issues with our microphone, and so please let us know how our microphone sounds at this time. We are grateful for your feedback. If it sounds as though we are muffling, please let us know that too. We will appreciate your please. We will appreciate hearing from you in our comment section. Alright, guys. So let us know how you are hearing us. If it's much better. Guys, are you able to hear us much better now? Please let us know. I think we have a better signal now. So please let us know how you are hearing us. If you are hearing us clearly, how are you hearing us tonight, guys? Can you hear us clearly? So those of you who have joined us at this point, we appreciate you being here. So hello, my lovely people. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for being here. Where you from? Tell us where you're from, guys. We would really love to know where you're from. So remember, at this point, we are just doing a microphone check. So your duty here is to tell me how you can hear us. Do you hear us well? Do you hear us well, please? Okay, I'm hoping that you can hear us very well because we are going to begin our session. All right, so guys, I want you to stay active in the comment section. I want you to comment. I want you to really be in conversation about these idioms that we are going to be learning about because idioms, they are expressions that allow you to be very fluent in English. All right, so let's wait a bit to see who would come in to join us in the live today. And we are going to begin in a short while. All right, guys, so let me know how I sound at this point. I think I'm hearing myself clearly from this microphone. What about you guys? How are you hearing me? Please comment in the comment section. Hey, thank you for joining. Those of you who have joined us, we thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today, guys? Please let us know how you are doing today. Get active in our comment section. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us where you're from. Tell us if you can hear us clearly. We are currently using a different microphone, and so We would love to have your feedback. So guys, share your feedback. Come on, lovely people, you who are here with me. Let me know what you think regarding the way that I'm sounding or the way that you can hear me, the audio, because we are just working it out. Guys, can you hear me clearly, please? Yeah. Seems as though this microphone is very, very sensitive. Like you cannot even touch it too hard. It's gonna be making those loud noises. I am not so sure why, but if I touch it too hard, it makes loud, loud noises. Guys, what do you think? Let me know who's here with me, guys. Please type in the comment section and say how you're doing, where you're from. We would love to know all that too. Of course, we want to hear more about you. So go ahead and type in the comment section. Tell us how you're doing, guys, and just tell us where you're from. At least that will do for now. Thank you for being here. Guys, can you hear me? I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me, guys? Let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. Thank you. All right, guys. So we are going to prepare for our reading session. Okay, I think I'm not sure, but I think I'm hearing it a bit better on my end. I'm not sure where you are and if you guys are hearing me clearly. All right, guys. So we are going to begin. I have been just trying to test a microphone. It's just a test. It's nothing serious. Okay, guys. So to begin our session, we are going to share our screen. Let's begin by sharing our screen. Screen share, that's what we do. We screen share. Welcome each and everyone to our session for today. And this session is where we learn English idioms. These are idioms that you should learn and use in order to sound like a native English speaker. Idioms are actually expressions that English speakers would use to sound very natural and also to basically add more fluff or flowery patterns to their speaking so that they can sound very interesting. And idioms, they are fun to use. I just hope that you guys would understand how to use these idioms and you would be able to use them as you continue to learn English and that your English would be very fluent so that you guys can really master the language. And I just wish the best for you in terms of your improvements when it comes to learning the language. So, whether you develop at a quick pace or a slow pace, you are welcome here and you can thrive here, you can bloom here, which means that you will be able to learn from the basics up to the advanced stage and really be able to use the language, whether in the written or oral form, in an accurate fashion and also in a very fluent fashion. So, today we are going to continue with learning English idioms. And like I said, these are just expressions that English native speakers use. Guys, I am so sorry for the interruption. We are going to continue the session despite that short interruption. Sometimes what happens is that the internet would be blocked by a firewall on my computer, and I'm yet to sort out that firewall. So please, guys, I hope that you are able to understand that little interruption and we would deal with that interruption. All right, guys, so now it's time for us to begin, and we are going to be learning these English idioms as part of our conversation role in English, whether you conversate on a daily basis or you conversate here and there, they would still be beneficial to your speaking, to your writing, to your listening. They would help you a lot in terms of what you say in terms of what you hear and understand when you are listening to English speakers. Remember that English speakers, they would be natural in speaking the language, and so you would have to listen very keenly to hear what they say when they are using these idioms and to understand when they're being used. Okay, so let's begin. So, our first idiom is, and this one, it's a very popular one. So, if you're familiar with it, I would understand. This one says, under the weather. Under the weather. When you hear the term under the weather, what comes to mind? So you know that the weather can be sunny, it can be rainy, snowy, stormy, and the likes. When you are under that weather, what does it really mean? Well, to be under the weather, it means that you are feeling sick or unwell, that you are not doing so well, that you feel sick. Have you been under the weather before? What did it feel like? So go ahead and think about what it felt like when you were under the weather, and you can share those thoughts with us by commenting in the comment section. We are going to read your thoughts and we are going to emphasize on them. We are going to really discuss them, different pointers that may need discussion. We are happy to discuss them. So go ahead, guys, and comment in the comment section. Tell us about a time when you were feeling sick or unwell. That time when you were under the weather. All right. So oftentimes, a lot of us, we go through times when we are feeling under the weather. We are sick sometimes. We are not always up and running, filled with energy and, active, doing things. We are not always doing that. And so, in those times when we are not up and going, we would use this expression to say we are under the weather. Or do you have a friend or know someone who is currently under the weather? When I say currently, I mean at this time, as in now, or presently, that person is feeling sick, or that person is ill, or that person is unwell. All these words, they mean the same thing. Go ahead, guys, type in the comment section, let me know. All right, so here's an example for you. And this example says, I am feeling a bit under the weather today. So I'll stay home and rest. Are you that person to stay home whenever you feel under the weather? Are you that person to not go to work or just stay in the house? Or do you go to work even when you feel under the weather? Which person are you? I know a lot of persons who would go to work even if they feel under the weather, or although they may be feeling sick or unwell, they would still go to work. Are you that type of person or that kind of person that would go to work when you're feeling sick or unwell? Do you do that? And can you tell us how it would feel when you go to work? Do you stay active, which means you are always at a task? Or do you go to work and put your head on the desk and take a nap every, let's say, 2 hours? You want to take a nap? Or does your work have a sick room or a sick bay where you can go and take some rest when you're not feeling so well? Guys, type in the comment section and let us know. All right? Type in the comment section and let us know. I would really love to hear about this. So go ahead and share with us. Go ahead and share with us. Let's get active. Share with us, guys. Tell us. We want to hear from you about feeling under the weather. Now it's your turn to make a sentence. Remember, we are learning English idioms or expressions that are used in English. And these expressions, they are phrases, so which mean they are groups of words that would come together to have a meaning or to form a context. And so it is important for you to understand what they mean in order to understand what someone is trying to say when they are speaking English and they use these expressions. Because these expressions, they are not literal, as in they are not what we would associate them with in everyday life. All right, so let's keep going, guys. But please type in the comment section, tell us a time that you were feeling under the weather. And also, let's see you make your own sentence to use this expression, sick or unwell feeling, that expression where we say under the weather. All right, so when you're under the weather, you just cannot match up to the weather, as in, be active with what's going on during that weather. All right, so our next one, let's read through on the ball. So this one is on the ball. What does it mean when someone says you are on the ball? What does that mean? What do they really think of you when they say that you are on the ball? Is it that you are sitting on a ball? Or is it that you are lying on a ball? No, it's nothing like that. Remember, these are not literal. They are not everyday things that we do, as in, we cannot compare them to what they really say in terms of the words when they come together, what we understand them to mean in everyday life. We cannot compare them, or we cannot put them in that context to understand them. All right. So when we use the expression on the ball, what we are saying is that we are alert, we are aware of what's happening around us. So to be on the ball would mean that you are alert and you are aware of what is happening around you. Okay? So when you are alert, it means that you'll be able to notice something very quickly, and you'll be noticing a lot of times things that are unusual or things that may be dangerous. All right. So another word that you can use for alert, you can also use the word vigilant. Vigilant. So you may hear someone say that you are vigilant. It means the same as being alert. Okay. The word vigilant, and I'll put the spelling so that those of you who have not seen that word before, you can add this one to your vocabulary. And this one is vigilant. And as you see, the G comes before I in this word, and so we hear the J sound. And we have been practicing that for quite a while now. So vigilant means the same as being aware. If you also use the word watchful, watchful can also mean the same as aware. So you're able to pick up things that might be dangerous or things that are unusual. They are not the normal way in which they are being done that is around you. And we can also use the word attentive. All right. So all these words can be used for alert. Can you give an example of a time when you were really vigilant and you being vigilant has allowed you to spot something unusual? Can you give a time when you were alert, you were on the ball, and this allowed you to spot something that was unusual, or this caused you to pick up on something very quickly that could have been dangerous? Can you give a time when that happened? Go ahead, give us a time when that happened. Hey, Sassy, how are you doing? How is your morning? Good morning, good morning. I think it's morning time for you, Sassy. Is it? Let us know. So, Sassy, we're talking about being on the ball. Are you on the ball this morning? Are you on the ball with your task or job that you're doing, or even with your cooking or your making of your breakfast? Are you on the ball with that? Are you being vigilant or attentive to the pot or to whatever you're making? Let us know. Oh wow, it's 6 a.m. That's very early in the morning, Sassy. Well, we appreciate you being here so early in the morning, all ready and willing to learn English. Wow, you went to sleep around 2 a.m. and you just got up. Wow, Sassy, you sleep for a short time. That's about 4 hours sleep, Sassy. Wow, Sassy, you have been born in the midnight oil. That's a short sleep. That's a short sleep, Sassy. But we are happy that you're here with us, Sassy, and hope your morning started off well. We are grateful, as always, to have you guys here. Right, so Sassy, today we are continuing with some idioms, and these idioms are expressions that we are using to sound like native English speakers. So I hope that they will be beneficial to you guys as you continue to learn English and you continue to listen, speaking, and writing English, that you can develop naturally with your English. And that's what we want to happen essentially for you. And so that's why we have to keep practicing. All right, guys. So please give the live a thumbs up if you haven't done so. Share it out if you haven't done so. All right. So here are words that we have placed here. These words: attentive, watchful, vigilant, and alert. They all mean the same thing. They all mean to be very quick at spotting unusual things or at noticing unusual or things that may cause problems or that may be very dangerous. You are very quick to notice those things. And please, guys, let me know as we continue the live if you hear my audio being much better today, because I am currently using a microphone, and you can tell me if my microphone sounds better. I would appreciate that. Please, guys, if you haven't done so, give the live a thumbs up. So, when you are attentive, watchful, vigilant, or alert, or you're aware of things around you, or you can spot danger, or you can spot things that are not normal around you, we would say that you are on the ball. You are on the ball. And remember, when we use these expressions, we do not mean them literally, as in what we know them to mean in everyday life. All right? So never take them to mean what we know them to mean in everyday life. Okay? So let's look at our example. She's rarely on the ball when it comes to scanning the goods. Let's read it one more time. She's rarely on the ball when it comes to scanning the goods. Are you a person to be on the ball when you do your job? Let me know, guys, in the comment section. When you are doing your job, do you think you're always on the ball? Let me know. Well, guys, I can tell you when I am doing my job, I am not always on the ball. I am not always attentive. I am not always watchful. Neither am I always vigilant or alert or aware or quick to notice unusual things. I am not always, but I try my best to really be vigilant at least 95%. Okay? I try my best to be as vigilant as I could, about 95%, or maybe 97%, but I'm not always vigilant. Okay? And maybe you can say the same thing. So if you can say the same thing, go ahead, type in the comment section and let me know if you can say the same thing. Or if you are always watchful, you're always paying attention. Let me know that too. So, guys, it's now time for you to share an example in the comment section or to tell us of a time when you were really on the ball. So, let's go, guys. Tell us of a time when you were really on the ball. And you can be on the ball for different occasions. For example, you can be on the ball if this is something that really means a lot to you. You can really be on the ball. All right. For example, if you are a farmer or somebody who plants things, you would really be on the ball, very quick to notice any changes with those crops that you have planted. So you would make sure that you always water them, you always look at them to see if they're drooping or if they're changing colors or whatever it is that is happening to them. Let's say, for example, sometimes they may have the leaves, caterpillars and other insects, they may bore through these leaves. So you would always be on the alert to see if any insect would have bored through the leaves and if there are any insects that are actually eating them. And this is good if you're able to do that as a farmer or even as someone who would plant things. There may be other instances where you may be very much on the ball. So let's say that you have a sick loved one. You would always be looking for changes in that person, in their behavior, changes in their attitude on a whole, or changes in their eating patterns, changes in their movements, changes in their sleep time, and the amount of sleep that they would take. These are things that you would pay a lot of attention to. And we know that Sassy has her fish that is currently not well. The fish is actually under the weather, and that's the first one that we just did, under the weather. And so Sassy, I'm thinking that she's really on the ball in terms of taking care of this fish, taking care of Flowerhorn to make sure that she noticed any changes in his behavior or attitudes to ensure that she is able to help him or to pick it up very quickly so that she would be able to make any changes necessary so that the fish can get better. So these are things that we always have to spot and be very careful to look for whenever there is someone that is sick. And so if we are able to do that, then we'll say that we are on the ball. Guys, you can give other instances where you were on the ball. Maybe someone had you looking out for something and you were really on the ball with looking out for that thing. Let's say that somebody was coming by to give you something very important, or let's say the postman, the person who delivers mail, was going to pass by today to deliver some mails, and you are to receive a very important mail. You would be on the ball looking for that postman every hour, you or every minute, not every hour, every minute. You're going to be looking outside to see if the postman is coming. And that would be you being on the ball because you want to make sure that you receive that mail, right? So tell us of a time when you were on the ball. Go ahead, guys. The comment is yours. Tell us. We would really love to hear about that time. Guys, like when you're cooking, that's another way that you can be on the ball too. Because when you're cooking, you must be attentive to your pot or it can burn and you may not get to enjoy that meal. So that might be a time when you're on the ball also. So you can talk about any of those situations when it comes to talking about being on the ball. All right. At your workplace, your job, that would be a time when you would be very much on the ball because you know your work is very important to you to earn a living and you understand that you can be hired and likewise you can be fired. And because of the economic situation these days, a lot of us we try our best to keep our jobs. so that we are not fired. And so, talking about our jobs, being on the ball might be a really good one. And sometimes it depends on the job that you're doing, that you would really have to be fully on the ball because some jobs they demand more attention than others, right? And so you would have to really, really be on the ball. And an example of a job that demands more attention than other jobs would be, for example, if you are doing a job that this person is doing, like scanning something, you would definitely demand more attention because you would have to ensure that you are looking out for any abnormalities, anything that is not normal, and that you are really inspecting very well so that there is nothing that would cause any problems at the end of the day. So that would be a job that really demands the skill of being on the ball, right? And there are other jobs too that would demand that. All right, so guys, get active in the comment section and share your sentence with being on the ball. That would be really good for us. We would love to hear your sentence, or we would love to hear of a time when you really was on the ball. And please, guys, let me know how my microphone sounds at this point. If it sounds better, as in you can hear me clearly, not muffled, please go ahead, type in the comment section. I would really love to hear that from you too, as we have been working on this microphone for some time. Yeah, I've been working on it today. So please let me know. I have used at least 3 microphones so far. Let's go ahead and let's look at this next English idiom as we learn how to pronounce words in English and also learn expressions that we can use in English to sound very much like native English speakers. So, our next one is bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. All right. Does this mean that you're going to take a bullet? And you are you familiar with a bullet? A bullet is actually that round ball-like uh, thing that can be found inside of a gun. So it is that metal rung, yeah, it has a rung shape, as in a cylindrical type shape that can be found in a firearm or what we call a gun. That is a bullet. And remember, bullets, they are explosive, right? So, do we bite bullets literally? Is that something that we would do in everyday life? Would we bite a bullet, like put it in our mouths and bite it with our teeth? No, we would not do that. So, what does it really mean to bite the bullet? If we would not just take it and put it in our mouth and bite it with our teeth, then what does it mean when we say bite the bullet? So, to bite the bullet, we actually are talking about we are facing a difficult situation. So, biting the bullet means to face a difficult situation with courage. To face a difficult situation with courage. What does the word difficult mean? Difficult means when something is hard, or it means when something is complex. Those are the words that we can use to talk about difficult. And I'm sure that you would have experienced difficult situations before. Were you able to really bite that bullet? Which means, were you able to build up the courage to face that situation? Were you able to do that? Let me know, guys. Please let me know. And if that was something that you were able to do, then hats off to you guys. If you were able to face a difficult situation with courage, do you really understand what it means to have courage when you're facing a situation? Courage is not something that is so easy to have, guys. I think any one of us can say that it's not so easy to have courage, because courage, it needs a lot of bravery, right? So courage is actually when something scares us, but yet we are able to be brave and do it. All right? We are able to be brave and do that thing that scares us. Or we are able to look at that thing that scares us and really face it, really not allow it to take us over. So that is what courage is all about. Have you been in a situation that was so hard to deal with or complex, and you were able to really fight yourself out of it, as in you were able to help yourself to get over that situation, or help yourself to face it so that you came out in a way that you were more or less happy that you would have undertaken the situation? Please let me know, guys. I would really love to hear from you with this one, because many times there are people who would face difficult situations, and because of the difficulty of the situation would most times get the best of them. And if you are one of them, if you are one of them who was able to really have that confidence to not allow fright or not allow any fear to get over you, but instead you were able to face it head on and really be brave about it in a way that you were able to stand up to it, then I applaud you, which means I give you a round of applause, a big clap, because that is something very good. Oh, I tip my hats off to you. Not everyone can do that. And when I say not everyone, I mean many of us, we cannot do that. Okay? Because we find it very difficult to do. So, guys, come on, it's your turn to just tell me about a situation that you went through where you were able to bite the bullet, where you were able to be brave about that situation, and where you were able to come through despite the situation was so hard, despite the situation looked as though it was going to defeat you, and despite that situation looked as though it was going to take everything from you, you were still able to get past it. Tell me of a situation. Tell me of one, guys. Please go ahead and tell me. I'm waiting. Get active, guys, in the comments. Let's see what you were saying. Come on, guys. We're not seeing anything from you guys. And please don't forget to tap the screen. We appreciate you tapping the screen. As in, we appreciate you liking. So if you're here, we would appreciate you liking the video. Come on, guys. I'm waiting on your comments. I'm waiting to see any situations that you went through before where you bite the bullet, where you really face it head on. Despite the situation was so difficult, you did not allow it to overwhelm you or to get the best of you. But instead, you were able to face it with bravery and confidence. And in so doing, you were able to come out very good, as in it's like a winning situation for you. Let me know of a situation that you went through like that. That would be so cool. So come on, tell me, guys, and get active in the comment section. I want you guys to get active here. Okay? All right, so let's read that example that we have here in regards to biting the bullet. He decided to bite the bullet and go to the dentist. Let's read it one more time. Remember, we want you to also practice your reading. So therefore, we'll highlight words and you'll be able to spot the words that you cannot read so fluently. And in doing so, we would hope that in you spotting these words that you cannot read fluently, that at the end of the time, you'll be able to read them very fluently. So let's go ahead and read the sentence. He decided to bite the bullet and go to the dentist. The dentist is a very scary place, guys. The dentist is the person or the person who acts in the profession of looking after our teeth. And we know how scary it can be to go to the dentist and hear the dentist say to you, ah. We say ah. Like when the dentist says ah, it actually means to open your mouth. We know how that can be scary for us. For native speakers, we'll say that the dentist would say to us ah, ah, which means to open your mouth. Are you scared of going to the dentist? Is the dentist one of your scary places to go? A lot of us, when we hear about the dentist, the first thought that comes to mind is the thought of pulling our teeth. Pulling our teeth. That's the first thought that comes to mind. So think of it, guys. Go ahead. Think of it. All right. So is your first thought about pulling your teeth when you go to the dentist? I want you to think of that. If that's your first thought, then most likely you would always think that the dentist is a scary place to go. And remember what biting the bullet means. It means that you are fearful of this situation or circumstance. It means that you have to build up some sort of courage because for you, this is a difficult situation. So, one of the things I would say to you is to stop thinking about pulling your teeth whenever you go to the dentist. And that would make it a bit calmer for you. And so you would be able to have a better frame of mind or a calmer frame of mind when you think of the dentist. And so you would not actually come to this expression to say that you are biting the bullet when you go to the dentist. All right. Because you think it's a very scary situation or frightening situation, a situation that you have to build up all that courage and confidence and bravery to face. All right. So, other than the dentist, can you tell of another situation that you would have to actually be brave about? A situation that is difficult where you have to build up courage? Come on, tell us of another situation. Is there any more? Tell us, guys. Come on. What other situations do you have to build up the courage for? And guys, get active in the comment section. We want to see you active in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel also. We would appreciate you subscribing. Okay? So, get active, guys. Get really active and tell us what other situation in your life or in your everyday activities you would say that you have to bite the bullet for. You don't face any difficult situations that you have to build up courage for, guys. Come on, guys, comment in the comment section. Hey, Ricardo, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you being here. How are you? We hope that you're doing good. Welcome to our clan. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. We love for you to subscribe and be interactive. Share your thoughts with us. We want you to share your thoughts. So currently, we are talking about biting the bullet. We said that biting the bullet means to face a difficult situation with courage. So that's where you have something that you may be scared of to face, something that this thing you would have to develop a lot of bravery or confidence in order to face it. And so you would say that you bite the bullet. Here we are given this example where this man or this boy, because we're using he in this sentence, and this person actually has a fear of going to the dentist. So they have to build up the courage and the confidence to visit the dentist. So, are you in that same position? Do you have a fear of going to the dentist? Is there something that you have a fear of that you would love to share with us that you have a fear of? And so you would say that you have to bite the bullet? If so, share with us. Tell us something that you would have to tell us that you bite the bullet for. It might be an activity that you are scared of doing. Like, for example, you might be scared of riding a parachute. And so you can say you would have to bite the bullet in order to go and ride a parachute. Not many persons would take chances with parachutes. And we totally understand why. So you can share with us something that you are fearful of or something that makes you very frightened or scared. And that thing would be something that you would bite the bullet for. So get active, guys, in the comments and share. All right, so let's keep going. In the meantime, we want you to get active too and keep sharing. Tell us something that you are scared of. I know we don't like to talk about our fears. A lot of us, we do not like to talk about our fears. And that is fine too if you do not like to talk about your fears. Many persons do not like to talk about it, things that they're scared of. But still, we like you to get active and tell us. Okay, so Ricardo says that he's afraid of elevators. Wow. So you would bite the bullet in order to ride an elevator. All right, well, that's a very good one. I know that there are many persons who are scared of riding elevators. For me, I'm scared of them too, but I would still ride them, right? But sometimes it depends on the day and it depends on how busy I am. If I am like over busy, then I would take it. But if I am not so busy and I have the time to spare, I would definitely take the stairs instead. right? And I am so happy that they still construct these buildings with stairs so that those of us who are scared of elevators, we can actually walk, instead of ride. So that's a good one. We thank you for that one. Thank you for your expression, your thoughts. We appreciate. All right, guys. So our next idiom, our next idiomatic language in English, the ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. What does it mean when someone say to you, the ball is in your court? Do you know what this means? If you know what it means, tell us what it means. Because these are popular ones. The ball is in your court. So when someone says the ball is in your court, what they're actually saying to you is that it's up to you to make the next decision or step. When someone says to you, the ball is in your court, they're saying that it's up to you to make the next decision or the next step. So they're giving you all authority, all control, all rule over what comes next. Have you ever been in a situation where someone said this to you, that the ball is in your court? Or maybe they have used a different expression. So maybe they have said something like, it's up to you what you want to do, rather than saying the ball is in your court. They all mean the same thing. All right? But next time, if you are practicing to sing like a native, it would be really good for you to say the ball is in your court. And that would make it sound like you are very familiar with the language, that you're using the language in a very practical manner. So let's keep going. What is something that someone allow you to take control of, or that someone placed all the authority in your hand so that you can decide the next step? Go ahead, tell us in the comment section. Is there something that someone has entrusted to you so that you can make the next decision? And what was it like? Tell us, what was it like? We would really love to hear from you. What was it like when the person gave you that authority or that control? Did you take advantage of it? A lot of times you find when persons are given that authority, they would take advantage of it. Did you take advantage of it? Which means you allow it to act a lot in your benefit. Did you do that? Let's know. Please tell us in the comments. We want to hear from you. And guys, remember you can come up on screen to share your thoughts with these idioms by just clicking that link in the comment section. Don't forget you can do that. All right. So tell us, guys. We are waiting. You know, one of the situations where persons would give people a lot of control to make decisions or to make the next decision or step would be when it concerns relationship. Sometimes persons would give you that control or authority to make the next step. Like, for example, in the case of a man and a woman, talking about getting married, about future decisions, a lot of the times the woman might just give the authority for the man or the control for the man to make the next step or to take on the next decision when it comes to anything that surrounds marriage or where their relationship would go in the future. And that's because men, they are supposed to be that role that the Bible speaks about, in terms of they are supposed to be the leaders. And so a lot of women especially if they believe in that, they would give that authority for the man to really lead them or to guide them in that way by making the next step or the next decision. So outside of relationship, there are other things. It can be at work. Your boss can see that brilliance in you or can see that you have a lot of great ideas and can say, hey, I think you should make the next step with this order, or I think you should make the next step with this project, or I think you should make the next decision when it comes to this particular thing. And that's because they see that you can handle it, and so they would entrust it into your hands. If you function in managerial positions in your business place, let's say you work as a supervisor or as a manager, then obviously that would be part of your role too, to take on to really be a part of the decision making process. And so your boss would give you that role. Is it something that you would want to do to be able to make decisions for your company or for your workplace? Is that something that you aspire in the future? Is that something that you think you would really be able to take up and do very well at? Let me know, guys. I would really love to hear from you when it comes to that. I think we all have some sort of leadership within us, but it just takes us to really be put in the position to really bring out that skill. So if that's something that you aspire, I would say to work at it and it can happen for you. Nothing is impossible. Just keep working at it. All right. So let's read our sentence. And of course, I am waiting for you to text in the comments and tell me of a time when you had to make a decision and that decision, all authority or control was given to you to make that decision. So let's see. I've done all I can. Now the ball is in your court. Let's read it one more time. I've, remember, I've is actually saying I have, I've, or some people would say I've done all I can. Now the ball is in your court. And the ball is in your court means that you are going to take on this responsibility of ensuring that the next step happens and that it happens in a fashion that would also work in the benefit of the person who gave you that authority. All right. So whenever you think of making a decision, do not ever think of your own self. Think of all that it may affect, who and what it can affect. And this would help you a lot in your decision making. So come on, guys, get active in the comments. Let's hear from you. We want to hear of a time. We want to hear of that time. Obviously, we want to hear of that time when you had to make a decision. We want to hear of that time when you had to make a decision. And this decision, you were given the authority to make this decision. And we want to hear if you enjoyed having the authority to make the decision, because it's not all the time that persons would enjoy the authority to make a decision. All right. Sometimes, depending on what the decision is, if the decision is something that would lead to making, like, some things can be very complex, that would be fun. It would not be fun at all. And so it can make you really, really uneasy. It can make you filled with worry or anxiety. It can put you into deep distress, as in have you thinking about it all the time. And so it becomes a burden to you. And that's not something that any of us would want to happen to us. So go ahead, guys, place in the comment section. Tell me if you've ever heard this idiom before being used, and let me know in what context or situation was it used towards you, right? Was it at your workplace? Was it in a relationship? Was it, what was it? Let me know. And this is really not a bad thing. It can be a positive thing. All right. It can be really, really positive. But I think it being positive would actually depend on you as the person that would make the decision. Okay. So the positivity would come from the decision that you're going to make, or it would come from you actually taking on that responsibility that is entrusted to you. And for me to tell somebody the ball is in their court, it would really mean that I can trust that person to say, hey, the ball is in your court. Because at the end of the day, you'd want to make sure that this person would make the best decision for you and also for themselves. All right. Is that so? Let me know, guys. Please get active in the comment section. I want to hear from you guys. Get active, please. Share, or you can share a sentence that you can make now that you've learned this idiom. You can share a sentence that you think you can make from it. The ball is in your court. And we give an example. I've done all I can. Now the ball is in your court. And remember, these are not literal. So there's not a real ball and there's not a real court. All right. Remember, these expressions, they are just based on everyday life things or actions, but their meaning does not limit themselves to everyday life. Okay. So please take that into consideration. So there's no real ball and there's no real court, but they're just more or less associating making the next step or the next decision, somebody being entrusted to make the next step or decision with a ball being in the court. Okay. Yeah. So basically what this brings out is actually there is the tool there, and it's up to you now to really play with that tool, or for you to really use it to really bring out the best that you can. That's all it's simply saying. So if there's a ball there, you bounce the ball and you get as many goals that you can get. Right? You shoot the ball to make sure that you achieve as many goals as you can. And that's simply what it is highlighting, and not necessarily that it's saying, hey, there's a ball and there's also a court. All right, don't take it too literal. It's just for you to make meaning of everyday life things and apply them to situations. So, guys, get active. Please share with us a situation that you have faced where the ball was in your court. What situation have you faced where the ball was in your court? And a lot of times, this can be something that can be a tough decision to make when the ball is in your court, which means everything is in your control. So we'll move on to the next one and we'll give you time to formulate that. And actually, there's no next one. Now it's free talk. So we are going to be free talking about all that we have studied. And if there's one that you really want to talk about, don't forget, guys, you can come up on screen and you can talk with me. All right. We are ready and willing to talk to you. Oh, there's one that we didn't do. No wonder I was saying that there's another one. Yes, there's one that we didn't do. We didn't do this one, so we're going to do this one. This one says, hit the sack. Hit the sack. What does it mean to hit the sack? Does it mean that you just get up and you hit a sack of potatoes? Or does it mean that you just get up and you hit any sack that is around you? You punch it or you hit it with your hand or your feet. Isn't that what it means? No, it does not mean that. Instead, it means to go to bed. So your bed is considered as a sack. All right, your bed is considered as a sack. So to hit the sack, what does that mean? It means to go to bed. So at present, it is night time where I am. It is 9:22 p.m. or 22 minutes after 9 p.m. And so soon I will hit the sack. When I am finished with this lesson, I would hit the sack. What does it mean when I say, when I'm finished with this lesson, I would hit the sack? What does that mean? It simply means that I will go to bed. All right. So, when was the last time you hit the sack? And remember, that's something that you may do often enough. Some persons, they hit the sack at least 3 times per day. Some may hit the sack twice. Some persons, it may be once for them. Some person, it may be 4 or 5 times, depending on how much they love sleeping or, you know, how tired their body is. And this would be dependent on a lot of things, how many times you would actually hit the sack. So let's read our example. Our example says, I am so exhausted. It's time to hit the sack so I can wake up at 4 a.m. to prepare my food for lunch. Let's now practice to read that quickly, as in, let's practice some fluency. All right, so let's read it again one more time. I am so exhausted. It's time to hit the sack so I can wake up at 4 a.m. to prepare my food for lunch. Wow, what does it mean to be exhausted? When you're exhausted, what does that mean? When you're exhausted, this word, we see the E and X together, making the sound X. It's a beginning in a lot of English words. Okay, that means former, or that means something that has passed. So we have X, and then we have then we have A and U together, making the sound R, and S and T, st. So we have exhaust, and then we add the id sound. Once a word ends with T or D in English, we always be careful to add the id sound for the ed. And remember, when ed is added, the verb becomes a past tense. So being exhausted is actually an action, which means being weary or being tired. That's what exhausted means. Are you weary and tired today? Are you exhausted? Let us know, guys, in the comment section. And if you are weary and tired today, what made you weary and tired? What is responsible for you being so weary and so tired? Tell us, guys, in the comment section. We love to hear from you. All right, so I am so exhausted, it's time to hit the sack so I can wake up at 4 a.m. to prepare my food for lunch. Have you ever been so exhausted that you just want to sleep for a very long time? Or that despite you having things to do, you just put them one side and get to your bed, or you just go and lie down somewhere so that you can fall asleep? Have that ever happened to you? Well, I think that has happened to me many times before. And It's not a good feeling at all. So, what I would encourage you to do, try your best never to work yourself to be too exhausted. All right? Because exhaustion is not a cool thing. And if you're exhausted, some persons may not even sleep properly when they're exhausted. Okay? There are those who sleep very well when they're exhausted, as in it allows them to fall asleep so quickly. While there are those who has to wrestle and they have to feel so uneasy and all that before they can actually fall asleep. So always be careful. Don't overwork yourself, guys. Uh, After overworking yourself, especially doing it often, you would face what we call a burnout. And really and truly, you don't want to be facing a burnout. Anytime you start facing burnout, it means that you won't be able to perform at the level that you're accustomed performing. And so your job can even put you away for not being able to perform at the level that you're accustomed performing. So try your best not to overdo or to outdo yourself in a way that you cannot perform, especially when it's really needed. Okay, so that's my encouragement to you when it comes to hitting the sack. And try your best to get as much rest as you can. You know, this is something that I too am very much guilty of, not getting enough rest. Okay, but it's something that I'm really trying to improve on. And I do hope that I'm able to get a lot more rest. I do hope so. So, guys, please get active in the comment section and tell me when was the last time you hit the sack. And let me know if you would be hitting the sack soon, because it may be nighttime where you are, or it may be just the time when you want to take a nap. So let me know if you are going to hit the sack. And let me know also if you enjoy hitting the sack, if you really enjoy sleeping. There's some persons who really enjoy sleeping. Sleeping is a big part of their life. So let me know that too. I would be happy to hear all about it. Come on, guys, get active. Let's talk. Let me hear what you have to say, guys. I'm interested. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say, guys. All right, so we have done all these uh, idioms, right? We have done all these idioms and we are going to repeat them. But this time I'm going to show you how they can be linked, all right? So that's what I'm going to show you, how they can be linked to one another. So our first one, you can be at a stage in life where you are feeling under the weather. That's where you feel sick or unwell, or you feel very ill. And then you would want to hit the sack because you feel under the weather. Whenever you feel under the weather, that feeling alone would most likely put you to sleep, or would most likely cause you to think of sleeping, which would be you hitting the sack. And then once you have hit the sack, then you are going to awake and you're going to feel as though you have re-energized yourself, which means you now have more energy. And as your body feels as though it has more energy, you are going to be on the ball, which means you'll be able to perform in a way that you are able to stay alert, or you're able to notice things when they are not normal or when they are unusual, or you would be able to notice any sort of thing that may cause danger. You're going to be noticing them when they are around. And that will be very good because you are on the ball. And then after being on the ball, you might be faced with situations that are difficult, but yet you are going to face them with courage. And so you would be biting the bullet, right? And it's good that you bite the bullet when you're on the ball. It's good that you bite the bullet when you're on the ball. I would not want you to bite the bullet when you are under the weather. If you bite the bullet when you are under the weather, you might make some very immature decisions, or you may make some decisions that may cause you problems later on or issues later on. And that's not something that you would want. So it's best to bite the bullet when you have hit the sack and on the ball after hitting the sack. That's the best time to bite the bullet. That's the best time to take on any sort of challenges. That's the best time that you can really conquer, right? So that's the time that I would encourage you to bite the bullet. And then the ball might just be in your court. The ball might just be in your court. After biting the bullet, after taking on and facing that difficult decision, then the ball might be in your court where you are given that authority or where you are entrusted as the person to make the next decision or the next step. And sometimes the ball may be in your court because you would have bitten the bullet or because you bit the bullet. The ball might just be in your court because of that. So, because someone would have seen how you face your challenges or how you face difficult situations with lots of bravery, then they can give you a situation where you are in total control, where you take authority of the situation. And that's because the person maybe have seen the way that you dealt with biting the bullet, and they now have that faith and trust in you that you would do the best thing for all that is involved. So look forward at one point in your life or the other for a ball to be in your court. Look forward at one point or the other for a ball to be in your court. Whether it is just something that is given to you in a subtle way, which means that you did not plan for it, you did not hear that the ball is in your court, but you just realize the situation, what it is that you have to make the next decision or the next step, right? There's no one else to help you but you. And so you just get right to it because you just realize what it is and what time it is. So the ball is in your court. Sometimes the ball can be in your court without you being told any information about it being in your court. Sometimes these signals they can be passed on by just body language. Sometimes they can be passed on without any written or formal statement. And so sometimes that can be the tedious part, the hard part of it, when they're passed on like that, because sometimes you may not even be aware that the ball is in your court, right? Were you ever in a situation where the ball was in your court and you were not aware, like you were not told anything, nor were you, uh, anything was written to you? There was no sort of conversation about it. But then when everything came down to their point, you realize, hey, I am the one that has to take up that mantle. I am the one that has to really take charge of what is going on here. Has that ever happened to you? Please go ahead and let me know. Share, guys. You know, I love to hear your stories. So go ahead and share. And remember, this is always a moment where you can talk. It is a moment where we share information. So we learn from each other. All right, guys. So I hope that you were able to learn all these sayings, all these expressions in English, all these idiomatic language, all these idioms, and that they would have helped you to gain new knowledge and understanding. And in that way, you'll be able to use them very fluently when you are speaking to someone in English, or when you are having your English conversations, that they become easier for you to use. And that's my hope for you. And I wish for you to practice them and just keep practicing as much as you can. Do not give up on your practice, because practice makes perfect. With your practice, that's how you can improve your English. And that's what we want for you. We want you to improve your English to a point where you're able to speak very fluently, to a point where you're able to listen and understand very easily. All right. And when you view anything, or when you're going to represent anything, that you are able to understand and interpret them very well. So, guys, we have come to the end of our explanations and our examples with using these idioms. And now it's your turn to free talk on any of the topics that you wish to free talk on. Let me know which ones you want to free talk on so that we can do a free talk. And you guys, you need to comment in the comment section. If I do not see any comments, then I'm gonna end the live there. But I'm waiting on your comments. So go ahead, get active, guys. You know, I love to see you guys being active here in the comments. That's where we keep it truly, truly active, right? And I need you guys to always share out the live. And if you haven't pressed like, guys, go ahead and press like. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, of course, and subscribe. That's what we want you to do, because this would help us a lot with growing here, just as you grow with learning English. And we obviously want you to do very well in your English. And so, as you continue to develop, I'm sure that you would come to a place where you are close to native speaking, or very much like a native speaker. So, that's my wish for you. And I hope that I will see you here all the time practicing. Please, guys, get active. You still have some time to get active in the comments to let me know which of the idioms you would want to discuss, because now is our free talk. If you want to come on screen, comment in the comment section, let me know, uh, so that you can free talk about any of the idioms. The idioms that we have covered, or the expressions in English that we have covered, are under the weather, which means when you're feeling sick, or when you are ill or unwell. We have also covered hit the sack, which means that you are going to bed. On the ball, and on the ball means that you are vigilant, you are watchful, you are alert, you are aware of what's happening around you, that you are able to spot things that are unusual or that can be dangerous in a very quick or timely fashion when you are on the ball. Our next one is bite the bullet. And we said that bite the bullet, it means to face a difficult situation with courage So in this situation that is so hard, that is complex, that has so many complexities, you are able to be brave about it. And despite you may be frightened or scared, you still act with a lot of bravery. All right. Our next one is the ball is in your court. And we said that a lot of times the ball is placed in your court unknowingly, as well as a lot of times it is placed in your court knowingly, right? So sometimes persons can say this to you, the ball is in your court, while other times they can use body language or they can suggest it in other ways rather than saying it or even writing it to you that the ball is in your court. So the attitude, the things that they do can suggest that at the end of it all, the ball is in your court. And that means that it's up to you to make the next decision or step in whatever matter, whatever project, or whatever your undertakings are. It's up to you to make the next decision or the next step because the authority or the control is given to you to make that decision or the next step. And so, here, guys, being that we have completed all of that, it's now time for free talk. So let's go ahead and free talk. Which one do you really want to free talk on? Which one do you think that you want to share your thoughts on or your ideas? Go ahead and tell me in the comment section, guys. All right. If I don't see you saying anything in the comment section for a while, then I would bring the live to an end. So come on, guys, get active in the comments. We need to see you active, guys. And those of you who would view this live at a later date, I hope that you would be able to keep these sayings or these expressions in your language and that they would become second nature to you, where you're just able to just do them naturally without even thinking about it. All right. So remember when you're watching the video to pause as much as you can so that you can understand the information. That is very much important or vital for your learning. All right, guys. So I do not see anyone else commenting in the comment section. So I'm going to bring this live to an end. However, I would love to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for choosing this channel where you can learn English as a second language. You can learn how to speak it, you can learn how to use it, and you can learn how to sound like a native English speaker. And of course, you would do so in a practical manner. And I think that's what's so important for you to really improve your English. So, my encouragement would be to tell you to just keep practicing and you would definitely improve. All right. And as always, just bloom, guys. I want you to continue to bloom and not just with your learning of English, but in everything that you do. Bloom in love, bloom in your everyday life, bloom in your spirituality, your emotional, your physical, your financial, bloom in all of that, your whole well being. And I just want to wish you the best, guys. And Sassy, I know that you're still sleeping. You may be still very much sleeping or maybe up and going because it's morning where you are. And I hope that you will have a really good morning. And of course, I'll see you again tomorrow afternoon. No, sorry, it will be afternoon for you when I'll see you again by God's grace. And it will be morning my time, but it will be afternoon for you. So I'll see you again, and each and every one of you who are here with me. It will be such a pleasure seeing you again. And thank you so much for being here. Ricardo, it was really nice seeing you on the live tonight. And I do hope that there is something that you would have gleaned here today, that there is something that you may have learned. Although I know that you are from an English speaking nation, and so you may have heard a lot of these terms being used before, but I hope that you're able to understand other ways in which you can use them. And guys, please continue to stay faithful to the channel, and we'll see you again. Remember, if you want to get in contact with me, please, guys, go to About Me, where you can find our email, where you can find our TikTok. I know for those of you who are in India, you cannot use TikTok, and I'm so sorry about that. Okay, but go to our About Me page, where you can find our email, read onwards at gmail.com, or where you can find our Instagram, read English 101, and of course, check out all our social platforms. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys again soon in the next few hours by God's grace. So just keep blooming, guys, and God bless. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to practice reading in English. Practice reading in English.